Good, good, good. Ready to go. Saturday morning here in Tokyo. Another rainy day. I know it's the rainy season, but please, this is enough. I've never seen it like this before. Never. Every day, without fail, for 6 weeks now, it's pouring rain here. John, look at this advertising already, promoting already. Is it online, John? I guess that's what I didn't know. Okay, what have we got today? We'll do the normal carving. We're back to those two boys. We're carving the hair. But before that, there's a small interruption job to do. Two small interruption jobs to do. They've got a basket. Now, Jaime-san brought this down from upstairs. A basket of work for Dave. John ordered mine. Thank you very much, John, sir. Thank you. They did. I'm really happy. They did turn out right. The next one, Hanamikatsu, is almost all carved now. There's one more color block still to go. Actually, it's still to be figured out. It's waiting for me to get down and figure that out. So I'm not quite sure when the next one will go. Okay, the side track job this morning is a basket of blocks. It's the blocks for the print for September for this year's subscription series. We saw it before. We saw the key block before. It's something to do with boats and something to do with a pier. And there is something to do with rain. So you get where this is going. She's done a test printing on it, and she wants me now to do some small cleaning up on some of the blocks here and there. So for the first 10-15 minutes of the stream this morning, I have to do some maintenance work, cleaning up these blocks. Now how should we do this? Just put them aside over here. And go through one by one. We don't need a scope for this, but I'd like to see what's going on. So. Then after we finish this cleaning up, we've got the normal hair carving that's going on right now, the boys' faces. I do have a miscellaneous type show and tell for today. A miscellaneous type show and tell, some stuff. I just brought a folder from upstairs. There's a bunch of new prints went up onto the collection last night, and we'll have a look at the original prints that are for those. Not Hanamikatsu. What's next? I'm not sure. News? No way, back to Japan? I don't know when, where, when, how. Do we get to know more? Like as in around here anywhere? Tokyo? Kanto? And this is obviously, we're talking about the future because they're not letting anybody in here. Headed back to Japan. I mean, the borders are still closed. Get a place with a spare bedroom. This is Japan, man. This is Japan. Yeah, that guy still sits in the window every day. He doesn't go anywhere. Yokosuka, Soka, you're nearby. Great. Get a chance to say hello then. Wonderful. American military, so you can get in. I get you. Actually, that's a cool. There's quite a few problems going on here right now. The borders are closed. Tourists can't come in. Business people can't come in. But the military has their own way of doing things. So they just fly planes back and forth, and people come in and people come out. And there's a huge problem at the moment in Okinawa, where there's lots of bases. where a bunch of the young American guys, they decided to party on July 4th, whatever, and they were partying all over town and on the beaches and whatever, and now there are a bunch of infections down there, and there's a real bit of trouble with the local population down there. So this is happening soon then, Yokosuka. Is this happening? Give us some more idea. Okay, the carving here, we're not changing any of the design, just carving. I know Kawasaki-san, who carves this, she does as minimal amount of playing as possible with the registration mark. She knows the printers don't like to have the registration mark screwed around. So she leaves a lip up on the registration marks here, so that when you're doing test printing, the paper can stay more flat. But that lip now will catch pigment, so we've got to remove that. And that's something that as a carver, she leaves for the printer's workshop to do, which is us and me here now. So. Next month. All right. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, at the beginning you're going to be busy, obviously, of course. But once things all get settled in, we could maybe work out where you could drop by here one morning, and once you get established and settled and whatever, that would be fun. That would be fun. The Hanami Cats, is it still not available? Or it is available. So, I know Jed got his box. I told you, as soon as Jed got the physical box and confirmed that they were there, that's his policy. He doesn't open up until he's got the prints in hand. And that box was delayed in again, American Customs. It was delayed in Oakland this time. It usually gets delayed in Anchorage. This time it got delayed in Oakland. They wanted to verify what country were these goods made in, and are they really handmade woodblock prints? And I wrote back and said, Japan? Yes. And they seemed to accept that, and away they went. Yeah, nothing interesting here, just cleaning up these edges. We try and keep these rounded off a bit. If the edge here is too much of a sharp corner, then when she's pressing her thumb on it, it leaves a ridge in the finished print. So we want to avoid as many of those marks as possible. Boats. The town behind the boats. Waves. Rain. You see, they call it the sharp edge. Kawasaki-san just left it because that's her job. But that sharp edge, when the printer puts the paper in, pressing with your thumb, it would leave a ridge on the paper. So before we do the production run, she's done some testing, but before we do the production run, this has to be just shaped off a bit. Actually, we're not ready for production. Ayumi-san gave me the first test, and I'm not going to show it to you yet because it's not. It's nowhere near ready. This particular print, it's an easy one physically. The individual colors are not difficult to print, but it's been more rain. Look at this, it's a rainy day on the print as well. It's not going to be difficult to print once we've got it worked out, but figuring out the tonal levels of all the blocks is going to be quite a difficult job. And her first stab at it was just, let's start somewhere. It's a start, but it's not right at all. This has to be darker, this has to be lighter, this has to be changed. You know. So I'm not going to show that to you because it would be disappointing. There's more buildings in the background, town in the background. You can see a bit of the leftover transfer sheets. Eh? There's the registration marks at the bottom here. This is the particular carved area, and this is the transfer sheet. The transfer sheet pasted down on the whole thing. She carved the town and didn't bother with the rest of it. It can stay where it is. I think this one's good to go. We don't need to touch this. More waves, more buildings. Video frozen? Not for me today. I had trouble the other day when I was trying to do too many things at once with the video, but today it seems okay. This end is all green. Ah, there is something I've got to remember. Oh no, I'm not sure if my mother is on here yet this morning. If she is, we need to do some collective advice for her. I know she's had trouble with her Twitch password again. I know, logging in. So I'm not sure. She may be watching this without being logged in. So if that's the case, she probably can't type in the chat. Bet is here. She is here. Okay, good. She had a problem with her email address. She asked me, how do I change my Twitch email address? At the moment, she's changing providers for her email. So she wants to change her Twitch email. And she wrote to me and said, Dave, give me a hand. Where do I find a place to change my email? And I can't find it. I'm a web guru here. I cannot find in my Twitch account. I gave up after about a half an hour. So if anybody knows how to do this, I'm sorry to admit this lack of geekiness here. But if anybody can give my mother some advice, if my mother's here, how to change or where to look for the settings to change the email address you've registered with Twitch. And maybe it's obvious and I missed it, but I could not find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. At one point, when I was searching for it, I clicked something and it jumped me to my Amazon account. I guess Twitch being owned by Amazon, I guess there's a tie-up. And do they want you to log in with your Amazon account? I don't know. Questions. Dave, nothing to do. Do I still play? Play? You mean as in music? No, I don't do anything with music right now, if that's what you mean by play. I'm not. Do I play? Music, no, is not part of my life at the moment. I'm sorry, no. It's sort of pending. I would like to get back to it. And depending what happens with the eye problems here, we may come back to it sooner than later. I don't know. Other questions. What do I use to attach my... You have the answer up there in the security and privacy. I'm not going to muck with mine right now, but if Mom is watching, maybe she can have a look at it. Mom, are you here? Where to find your email? Whatever. You guys can chat with her about this. What do I use to attach my Gampi to the computer paper? We use this one. This is in Japanese, but I think it's an international design. It's made by the 3M company, and they have different numbers. 55 is the low tack. You spray it on, put it on, you can take it off. Put it on, take it off. 77 and 99 are too strong. So this is what we use, but I think there's lots of brand names. I'm not sure what they call it in the West. It's low tack glue, I don't know. And don't spray it on too hard. Even the 55, if you spray too much, you can't get it off without tearing the Gampi paper. Okay, thanks for the link. I'll check later. If Mom's here, she can maybe check right now and have a look at it. But I could not find it. Hontoni, I searched and searched and searched. I kept coming across something, do you really want to close your account? And like, no, I do not want to close my account, but whatever. The fact that Mom isn't posting here tells me she's probably not logged in, so the email thing is still pending, I guess. So at least maybe she's reading this, I don't know. I'll call her later on after the stream's over. That one's okay. Sky. Okay, I think we're good to go. Maintenance job is done. Bang the computer, knock everything off. Oh, she is here. Mom is here. Okay, you're getting a little bit of advice on the email thing. You've got two email problems, right? One is the Twitch email, and one is the email for from your Shaw provider. I'll call you. I'll give you a call after the stream. How old is my mom? Like, I'm going to say that? You got to give me a joke. Give me a break. How old is my mother? Well, I'm 79, so how old do you think she is? So she's old enough to be Dave's mom. My mom is getting to the point where pretty soon she's going to be bragging about her age instead of being afraid of her age. She's bragging, which probably is already now. It's bragging time. I hope I get that far. We'll see. There's one thing about being someone like my mother, you know, her kids are getting older. Dave is here. Dave's getting older. He's got a problem with his eye. Things are starting to go wrong. I guess at her level of life now, there's a fear that it's quite possible, the longer you live and the more genki you are, there's a fear that you're sort of, at some point you might think my kids are going to go before me or something like this, you know. So far I don't think we're in any danger of that, but the older any given person gets, that fear becomes larger. So. I can never log out of my Twitch account, so whatever, yeah. Oh, some numbers are coming up here. Whatever. Okay, I have to do some real work here, so let's get in here. So. This is also, for those of you who don't know, my sister is also on here this morning. My kid sister, is that we just still use those expressions, it doesn't make any sense anymore. My sister is here too this morning, so. Show us 79. You laugh about that, John, but actually that happens here, you know. When you're filling out a form now and then, you know, there's simply a space for birth year. And sometimes in Japan, in the old days in Japan, always, they had the space for your birth year, and it was pre-printed with whether it was Meiji, Taisho, Showa, or whatever. These days, I know you're seeing less and less of that, because more often when they see a form, they're expecting the 1972 or whatever it is. But you still see some. Sometimes they're blank. So you can put your birth year, and I could either write 5-1, or I can write 2-6. And sometimes somebody would look at me, 5-1, could it be, could it be, could it be? It could be actually sort of either way for this. So going in for tea with Sherry. So Mom's leaving. Okay. Drop me an email and tell me what time I should call you, Skype, after I'm finished this. Could be Taisho 51, if somebody lives long enough, if he had lived long enough. All right, let's pick up where we left off yesterday on the hair on the side of this little boy's face. The thing about the Showa is, the fact that I was born in the Showa era is obvious to anybody. If the conversation is here, if I'm filling out a form, whatever. Clearly David is the kind of person that was in the Showa era, because the Showa ended about, whatever, Heisei was 31, so anybody who's older than 32 or so here in Japan is at least Showa, and there are people who were born in the Taisho era. So everybody knows I'm a Showa kid. Clearly, there's no doubt about that one. David was a Showa baby. So. I think it's, before I do this, I think it's a sharpening time. This is not quite sharp enough here. This doesn't want to cut. Okay, sorry for the sidetrack, but I think before I do this here, we need to touch up this knife. We've got to sharpen here. Excuse me, just a sec.